Yo, hope that shit's not too loud. Alright, hopefully I got enough light in this bitch. Oh, okay. All right. Throw a little hat on there, and you got a thruster. Now we're gonna add it to the waiting screen. Space Zaqe. Just testing stuff out here.
Celebrate, let's get wild. Oh wow. Alright. Bringing it back old school here with this. Okay. Jesus. So many notifications in the chat. It looks like I just hacked this shit. Nice. So DMCA'd, huh? Alright. It was the ultimate prank. I gift the gift subs and then he DMCA's my shit. I saw Yorick got buffed on the PBE. I've been watching a few League streams. This is pretty dangerous. Never mind. The worst Fiora I've ever seen in my life. This game's over. Good shit. Free win, baby. I've been duped and schmeckeldorfed. I've been clickbaited. Says she's climbing the iron in the title, but she's plat.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem at all. Good shit. Rocket League is one of the few games where I feel like even if I trained for 10,000 years in the hyperbolic time chamber, I would never get good at it. It's one of the few games where I just cannot get the hang of, like, wow, that was clean, real easy and casual. I just can't get the hang of, like, the advanced tactics. It's fucking tough. Buckle your seatbelt, here it comes.
What is going on, dude?
He sounded like angry, like he was ready to fight. Damn.
Excuse me?
No, I'm sorry. Jesus, I'll do your homework. I'm sorry. Oh, God.
What?
No, it's a good thing.
On Earth?
No, I promise. This guy's work is fucking wild. His portfolio is nuts. And this Crash Bandicoot looks like it's coming straight from the video game. I wanted to watch the whole tattoo, but I have to head out now, so I'm tossing in the 50 gifties now. Just for the show some appreciation. Watch him freak out and start doing like zigzag lines going all the way up to his eyeball.
Voice critical.
50 gift subs.
What the fuck?
Moist?
Yes, sir.
Oh my god. Holy shit, dude. Thank you so much.
No problem at all.
That is so nice.
We got the old school boner jams in here.
Oh my god.
Simple plan blaring. This is game
50
time.
gifted subs.
We're in the gamer zone.
That's incredible. Wow.
The way he's reacting makes it seem like an as seen on TV commercial.
Nice.
Wow, my hose sucks. I need a replacement. If only there was something better.
That was so ridiculous.
Charles found $300 in a gas station urinal, and he's giving it away.
Holy fucking shit!
It's all yours, baby.
Oh my fucking god, thank you so much, man. Holy
It's
shit,
no
man.
problem, man. Don't worry about it.
Holy fuck, thank you so
Oh,
much.
it's all good, man.
Moist, thank you for the 50 gifted subs, man. Holy.
This sounds lovely. It's from Sword Art Online, which I've seen. Where, like, I've seen season 1, like, both parts, where it starts off pretty good, and then it goes to, like, them being fairies, and then Kirito's sister wants to fuck him. Like, half the show is about how she wants to gargle his meat and shit like that. And I was like, this is kind of weird, and it just wasn't that good from there, so I stopped watching. Song sounds great, though.
Sword Art Online.
It's time! Oh, wow. Oh, shit.
What?
Be careful! Oh, she's being fucking smothered by emotes. Oh, Lord. Rest in peace, her GPU. And mine. Stream's probably gonna crash.
Oh my god, you can't see my reaction. I was literally standing right now. What?
Oh, we made it! We fucking pushed through. Oh, yes. God, if you haven't listened to the Nier Automata soundtrack, you fucked up. Go listen to it now. This is the amusement park theme from Nier Automata. It's so good. And she's killing it. Fucking crushing it. I still don't have a handle on this game yet. I haven't finished my undergraduate program of understanding Magic the Gathering yet, but I'm working on it. What I can tell you is this guy is getting absolutely fucking blasted by cards. His opponent's got like 40 cards tossed up there. He's got 3. Like, this shit is getting wacky. Why can't I hear him? Oh my god, because it's fucking muted. I'm a goddamn idiot. Yeah, we can do Darman now. Sure, fuck it. It's been too long. Too goddamn long. Rude man humiliates elderly woman. He instantly regrets it. Oh, wow.
Wow.
That sounds wonderful.
It's such a beautiful sound.
The way you plucked 3
It's
strings.
always been my dream to play, and now
What instrument is that?
Finally, at the young age of 65.
Really? You know,
A
I've
lap
always wanted
harp?
to be an actress, and my very first audition at the ripe old age of 61.
Hey.
But to be honest, I wonder if it's all a mistake. I mean,
maybe I'm too old.
No, no such thing as
Well,
too old.
That you're never too old to follow your
What do you mean? You're standing out in the middle of nowhere, playing a harp. Doesn't seem like you're doing that well.
Excuse me, is this where the audition is?
Yeah, you're in the right place.
Oh, thank you.
I'll be auditioning for the role as a high school 16-year-old.
Oh, sorry. Moms and grandmas are not allowed.
I see.
Actually here to audition.
You realize the role is for a 9-year-old, correct?
Well, isn't it a little late in life to be pursuing your dream, Grandma?
I mean, this guy's just as old as she is, and he's a fucking casting director. Like, come on, aren't you a little old to be casting?
So you see, I never got to thank you for saving my baby's
This is so meta. They're
Why let
auditioning for a
me-
What the
Darman
fuck
video.
am I paying for, man? This shit sucks.
Can you cry?
I can try.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Can't change that, I guess.
Continue. I'll get the pepper spray if we need to speed this up, I suppose.
Okay.
Let's get some tears. Let's get some tears. What are we doing? Oh, boy.
Wait, can I
You're
try it
fired.
again? I was just a little nervous.
Bye-bye. Do you have the sides?
Oh.
Of course, of course.
All right. Top of page 5.
Page 5, of course. Oh, right. This one's about losing my virginity, of course.
Alright, whatever.
I hope my parents don't find this.
So you see,
Oh, boy, I'm feeling it. Uh-oh.
I never got to thank you for saving my baby's life.
Best goddamn acting I've ever seen in my life.
We will never forget this.
That was incredible.
I usually give some
Unbelievable.
Zaqe.
People, if you enjoy the show, what should they do, Leo?
Well, subscribe to our Patreon because you get not 1, but 2 episodes a week.
Oh, shit. You thought we were taking tomorrow off? No, we're going to be right here, our
Yep.
asses in these very chairs,
Yep.
talking about more shit. It's fun. We get a lot more personal because there's less fear of
Yeah.
some cretin reporting to our girlfriends about our misconduct.
Seriously, so we do delve all of our secrets on the second show. So if you want to know more and more, there's also nudity.
Yeah, I mean, Leo got fucking blown last time by
I
this
did.
really cute Colombian chick.
Yes,
And-
just straight blown on the podcast. It's nuts. To climax. It's crazy the kind of radio and improv I was doing while climaxing. Were you impressed?
It was a long orgasm, first of all.
It was,
But
yeah.
yeah, that Charlie Chaplin bit you did while there was semen spewing out of your penis, unreal. Guys,
Unbelievable.
Patreon, please support the channel so we can take better care of these 2 flunkies we have on the other sides of the mics.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we can maybe bring in a 4th mic like King Croc, get some better decoration, support the show.
Let's go, baby.
Now let's get started.
Oh, God.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
I'm looking forward to this. We had an action-packed show, but you saw what I'm sure is going to be the title. You see what I'm sure is going to be the thumbnail. We got the footage of it right now. We're going to let it roll. Then, Leo, I want to take this entire story from the beginning.
Sure.
Try to it's going to be like Fight Club. We start at the climax, then we work from the beginning.
I love it.
And
we'll-
because we got to make sense of how this nonsense took place.
Yes.
It's inexcusable. It's silly. It's pretty funny.
Strange.
Without further ado, Austin, hit that space bar.
Black Beauty.
Kiss the pavement, baby. Oh, yeah. Kiss the pavement, baby.
I know he did, so back up. This is from my lawyer. Okay, back up. I am. Back up. Look, you got this right here. Back up. All right, back up. Back up. Back up. I am. Sure. Okay, back up. Give us a little bit of room. He didn't do nothing.
You're good.
All right. You wiggy.
You want to give him a play-by-play for
Dude,
the people listening?
I'm so excited to break that down scene by scene, but thank you,
No,
Leo.
yeah, of course.
Leo is learning the ins and outs of radio.
I am,
Give me
Bubba.
some.
Let's go, baby.
Brandon Buckingham, our little friend from the...
Release the Kraken video.
Yeah,
long time ago.
I got arrested at a miniature golf course video.
Yes.
He has been a boiling cauldron of resentment, you could say, for the last almost a year, and that cauldron is boiled over and it manifested in this. I am on 6th Street filming with my good buddy Lorenzo, who we've been filming with for 2 years, maybe even longer, and we were doing a bit where I'm not sure what I am. Am I a war hero?
Yeah, I told everybody that he was a war hero.
I'm wearing a U.S. Army jacket, a hodgepodge of various medals from conflicts dating from World War I all the way up until the Second Gulf War. I'm wearing goggles. And then I'm in a wheelchair too, so I think Lorenzo's angle is that I'm a retarded kid,
right?
And I can only communicate by the logic of this bit through the text app that repeats things in a Stephen Hawking voice.
Yeah.
So I would write a joke and it would get repeated from my phone, playing out of a Bluetooth speaker to women. And everything I said was the most insulting shit you've ever heard.
It was pretty funny. I hope you could use some of that footage in our video because it was classic.
Oh, definitely. We're going to. And it was great. And then Brandon Buckingham, comes up from behind me with a few of his cronies. I see one hooligan Christian and a fat kid with a mullet. And they come up and...
Fat kid with a mullet, yeah. I'm not even going to give him... I'm not even going to name that kid.
I don't know his name, so it's not as if I'm being...
I know it, but I'm not even going to say
And I'm not trying to be a dick. My aim here isn't to put these guys down. As you'll see at the end of this, I'm trying to squash this.
Yeah.
This is absurd. This is distracting.
Yeah.
But Brandon Buckingham runs up with an opened bottle of mayonnaise and shoots me in the side of the face.
What a great bit, huh?
It probably took a lot of hours in the writing room, Leo.
Oh, yeah.
They probably had some consultants out here in Hollywood working around.
For sure.
Definitely making Writers Guild minimum for this one.
Absolutely.
And when the mayonnaise hit me, my first reaction was that it was mace. So I recoil a lot. I thought a mounted police officer had gotten a report of something horrible I'd said to a woman, and maybe the woman was his daughter.
Right.
And maybe he wanted to pull out the old bear mace and give me a taste. So I recoiled. I tried to flush. Well, thankfully I was wearing goggles, but I was trying to clear my mouth. And then I realized slowly it was inert. And by that time, I stand up. I see Brandon Buckingham, chest puffed out, doing the "let's fight, bitch, let's do this," getting ready for a bro fight. And then Nico, who we can't even praise enough.
Yeah, we gave him the Bronze Star later. You'll probably see it in the video. But yeah. Nico basically took him down with one hand after he was assaulted by Brandon Buckingham. He was kicked and pushed, and then took him down. It was a terrible place to fight. We were surrounded by officers, in not only by them just standing around, but on horses.
Yeah.
So it was just a terrible place to do this.
You can't fight in front of the cavalry, Leo.
No.
It never pays off.
No. But Clydesdales.
So Nico comes at Brandon. It was the most loyal thing I've ever seen Nico do. I already loved Nico and knew he was just to the bone loyal.
Yes.
But dude, I have just a whole nother level of respect for Nico.
He's the man.
Nico, without missing a beat, starts wielding the camera with one hand and just goes at Brandon Buckingham.
Yes.
Brandon Buckingham decides that Nico is a threat that needs to be met with punches and kicks.
Yeah, he kicks him very viciously in the balls, is what Nico told us.
I heard there was a ball kick. I will say this. All I can remember seeing was Brandon throwing, I think, a left round kick. I don't want to be misquoted because I'm sure this squad had their own cameras rolling. I remember a left kick at Nico, but then the officers see this and they acquaint Brandon Buckingham with the cold brick floor of 6th Street.
Yes.
Maybe reacquaint. I don't know what he's been doing out there.
Yeah.
But I guess we're going to talk about this. We're going to try to piece together how this all came to be from the first point of interaction with Brandon.
All right, first point of interaction, we go... I think you and I can agree that we got along with Brandon on the trip.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, we can even start it back further because I'm assuming most people listening to this don't
know
really
the story.
I mean, probably a lot of them don't know who Brandon is,
right?
And like even more don't even know the story,
right? So let's start with. I think the first thing he did was subscribe to both of our Patreons. He got on one of the voice. I have a tier where I FaceTime you once a month or Skype you. So he got on there and basically showed me around his house and was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this Release the Kraken thing. I want to be a YouTuber, and I think it would be a great place to kick off kind of my YouTube career. And he was telling me about himself. He was an elementary school teacher, which I always I like that about him. I thought that maybe he had like a sensitive side that something like this would never
gets
happen.
You in with the underage pussy. Of course you like that about.
Yeah, fuck you. I did trust him. So
Austin, are you doing okay? Austin's looking forlorn. I know Austin and him are buddies. Are you doing okay? I'm sorry to interrupt, Leo. We're gonna come right back to you.
No, I'm just focused. I'm moving the time to points you're speaking about.
Sure, you can cut. You can take it down right now. We can go full screen, Austin.
Yeah. So then you want to talk about how the release of the Kraken thing?
Sure. I mean, it happened in this very spot. There used to be a couch here, and Austin and I were doing our very first live stream, and the Kraken got released, which the Kraken was an option on my old Patreon, where for $3,000, we would fly out to your hometown and make a video with you. Brandon did that right here on the live stream. And then also, that was our first live stream, so the donations were insane.
Right.
And I just remember walking away from that live stream with a bunch of money in my pocket, and back then I didn't have that much.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So I was euphoric, and I called him up, and we started talking, saying, hey, let's do this, dude. Let's start fucking planning ideas. Let's make it happen. We get out there, Leo, and you mentioned that we both liked him right away. I had some reservations when we first met him.
Of course. I mean, look, it's guys, when you get on a Patreon and stuff, there's always going to be like a level of like, okay, I got to be wary of this guy a little bit because, we don't want to get too close to someone that like might have some nefarious kind of ideas or be a little obsessed with you. It does happen, and it's something that you got to be a little bit worried about. It's not like we're dicks and it's like, oh, our fans are weird. But yeah, we do have some fans that are weird. There's fans that are posting fucking crazy things on their Instagram that love us.
Yeah.
And
not everybody's an angel.
Not
like
everybody's
Rat
an
Dick
angel
Ralph.
like Rat Dick Ralph, who threatened to kill in Lidigi. Things like, look, we have to be, we have to have our fucking shield up at first. So, of course, I was less worried because I was like, I'm not the one that's upset. Like, this guy, is calling his comedic idol and stuff. It's Danny. So I kind of was fucking around with the guy, and he's a goofy guy. He had Papa there, which I liked, and I got along well with him. Yeah, the old grandpa from the video.
I sensed a little bit of weirdness between us. I remember when we were driving to the gas station where Brandon's 80-something-year-old grandpa told a guy that guy's mother was sucking the 89-year-old grandpa's dick the night before. Obviously, that was legendary, but weird shit would happen. Like, I remember Brandon doing a freestyle about how he was going to be a better YouTuber than me. And I was just like, okay. Interesting choice of song, but okay.
Yeah.
And then, just weird stuff would happen. Like, we would be driving to Ocean City, and there'd be times like where he would just do these comedy bits, I guess, where he would just be like, "What's up, Danny? How you feeling, buddy?"
Yeah. And I remember that.
Okay.
Because I remember because also it was weird because he was connecting with us on some comedic level where he was sharing some prank phone calls that we both thought were really funny.
Yeah.
His sense of humor is similar to ours, so we were getting along, and then he would still have these moments of being like, "Okay, dude, that you didn't need to do that,"
Everything changed for me, at least for a while, when we got pretty much arrested on that golf course.
He did split up from the crew, and we should have, maybe that was a red flag that we didn't catch early. You, and Nico, the great Nico. Well, we need to give him some kind of nickname that's the most loyal man on earth. We stuck. We were gonna go down with the ship together. We were like, all right, if we're getting arrested, we're gonna be right here in this person's backyard. We're trespassing. We're all going down with the ship. Brandon was hammered out of his mind, and it did provide some comedic gold for the video because he went into that psychotic rant, that absolutely gold comedic out of his mind, drunken, blacked out rant with the cops when he decided to leave the crew or leave us. But it could have been a red flag early, but we didn't catch that.
I don't see that as a red flag. I just see that as he was hammered.
He was hammered out of his mind. He drank a whole bottle of Jack to the dome.
He was pretty much hallucinating off Jack Daniels. He was so fucked up. But I liked him more after that. I remember because we knew we had a good video in the can. Everybody was loosened up. We were smoking cigars on the balcony. I remember him and I, when we were driving back from the cross-dressing video, you and Nico were just chilling in the back on your phones. You were looking for somebody to blow you. Nico was looking for a guy to blow. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's so easy.
My girlfriend's so pissed about fucking Austin, dude. It's like
being in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, dude, she hates that.
I thought you were talking about me blowing you.
Yeah.
Or no, not
what are you gonna do?
I mean, no,
That's how we do
it's
it.
fucking Austin, aka Horror Central. I mean, but anyway.
When we were driving back, I remember Brandon and I were just listening to music. We put on the song Dixieland, like, oh, I wish I was in the land of... And I remember, I was like, I like this guy. I want to keep working with this dude. This dude's true. And that's how the trip ended, just on pure positivity.
Absolutely.
After that fear bond. And
I did have a fear bond, yes.
That's, as Leo put it, I guess that's something in the stunt world.
It is. If you get into a near accident with a crew, everybody kind of remembers that forever, and it's called a fear bond, and it's kind of a lasting memory, and it is I mean, that memory is etched. It's forever to be etched in my memory.
When things started to get weird again was when I was home in Sacramento taking a vacation. I remember Brandon showed up in LA filming or hanging out with you.
Look, like this story, you weren't filming. I was hungry to kind of have somebody to look. I'm lazy.
I'm not blaming you.
No, I'm not going to blame. Brandon lived with me for a month.
Can I just tell from my side of the story?
Sure,
because
and then I'll
this
tell
is what was weird about it. It wasn't that you were filming with him. Like, I know you had absolute justification. And,
no, absolutely.
And it wouldn't have been a big deal if he were filming with you.
Right.
But what was weird was he came out and there were all these stories with you, and then he starts posting stories with Churtleys, who I'd been collaborating with recently. And then he starts posting stories with Brooks. And then he starts posting stories with Austin. And I'm like, wait a second here. So he's messaged every single person in the Danny Mullen spider web, except for Danny Mullen, about coming to LA and filming. That seems a little strange. It seemed... I'm not going to make any conclusions yet. We'll keep developing this story, but you can give me your side of it here.
So when he hit me up when you were taking the break, I felt like it was a good opportunity to have someone that was going to force me to go out and film, was hungry for the YouTube stuff, because, I lay around, have sex with my girlfriend, get some good food, maybe a workout in, and I'm happy, and I don't think that much about YouTube. It's something that I'm passionate about in some ways, but some ways it's difficult for me. Anyway, so he was there. He was going to move in and keep me hungry. Mitch was like happy to have like another dude in the house, at the time when I was living with him.
Yeah, because Mitch was blowing all his money on his scammer South American girlfriend.
Yes,
and needed somebody to pick up some of the rent tab.
So,
that's the backstory.
Maybe, yeah, absolutely. So then we had Brandon came in, and it was a burst of energy, and I was getting along with the guy, and he was working. He was making me get out there and film. Now, I did not like the one thing that I didn't like about him was his affinity for like thinking that the only way to grow on YouTube or the most effective way to grow on YouTube was like trying to collab with these people or like putting these people in videos. Like,
yeah.
We ran into Alejandro and Steezy Kane, in Venice, and he immediately was like, he would. I mean, not to be like a dick, but he would blow anybody that was like a bigger YouTuber. Like, he would just be like, "Oh, you're the fucking man, dude. We should work together."
Was
blah, blah, blah.
Was it sort of like, "Hey, Leo, take a step aside while I talk to Steezy with his 2.7 million subscribers instead of talking to you"?
It was. I mean, he still included me, but it was like, okay, like he's just blowing this kid who has a lot of followers, and he did that with Churdley's too, and then with Steezy. So it was like, I was more of like, okay, I saw Danny do it with pretty much no help, but then. Yeah, yes, the Nelk Boys gave him a big opportunity because he fucking wrote them this classic bit, and then he outdid himself and performed really well in the video. That's different.
And I already had like over 100,000 subscribers.
You already had over 100,000 subscribers, which we've all seen is an extremely hard place to get to. So he was rubbing me a little bit the wrong way. He was kind of blowing all these guys, thinking that's how you get into a better place. And I always tell people, like my roommate Jacob also, I always tell him, like, it's about consistency and just keep putting your best foot forward. I saw it happen with this guy. Like, I don't look at me. I'm not fucking putting my best shit out there. But if you do your best shit on YouTube every week.
Leo, you're so high on your YouTube career this podcast.
Oh,
It's just, my shit kind of sucks. I'm not really into YouTube.
Well, I just don't want to. I don't want to pretend that I fucking put my best shit out there. But anyway,
well, you're fucking. You kill it in my videos. You're
Thanks,
great
buddy.
on this podcast.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I mean, maybe you half-ass your own channel. I don't know if that's your opinion on it.
Yeah.
But
that's my opinion. I know it because I put the videos out.
You always tell me not to be so hard on myself. Likewise, baby.
Well, thanks, brother. But I tell people like I saw Danny go from nothing to where he's at right now, just working diligently. He didn't have to fucking blow anybody to get to where he was.
Yeah.
It's like just work diligently for a couple of years. Like give it some time. Like so that was the rubbing of the, like, he rubbed me the wrong way because I was like, dude, networking has always been like something I didn't like. Like, I don't want to go hang out with people that I necessarily don't like want to hang out with just because they can help me get a shout out in a video that's going to get me some subscribers. Like but he was kind of all about that.
Well, let me say this. I know that I went not recently, but like 6 months ago on like an anti-Steezy Kane rant, and I know I've slammed Balin Levine. I know I went after Aruman. I am not necessarily proud of all those things. I don't have anything against those guys personally, and more, and a lot of it has to do with incidents like this, has made me realize I'm going to take a step back from the shit-talking Jake Paul boxing style of you. Good jokes and performing good comedy, because that's what I love. Yeah. But part of being a great comedian is being a no bullshit teller of the truth. If you listen to the opening and ending show, you have 6 of the greatest comedic minds of all time in that room. Anthony Cumia, Jim Norton, Louis C.K., Bill Burr, Patrice O'Neal, David Tell, some configuration of those guys. And the reason that show was brilliant is because if anybody says or does anything stupid, as if it were a pack of coyotes descending on a cocker spaniel by those guys. There's no tolerance for bullshit. It's a bullshit-free zone. So the urge to reach out and collaborate with people like Steezy Kane, and again, I'm not going to talk shit on him here, but for me or you or Brandon to collaborate with Steezy Kane, how does that make sense? He's like 19 years old. He does G-rated Walmart videos. As a comedian, I feel it is your ethical duty to realize, okay, this doesn't feel right. I'm deceiving my audience. Yeah. I'm not going to collaborate with Steezy Kane or Ross
what
Creations.
I would say is, like, look, I've spoken to Steezy Kane numerous times. I had even had lunch with him one time. I can say that he's a nice kid. But I have never wanted to collaborate with him for that reason, because it's a different audience. It's just, I would feel like I'm just using him.
Sure.
Because, which is the truth. Like, I would just be using him to get some subscribers, to get my name out there a little bit. Because in the reality, we have different styles of comedy. We do different things. Now, Brandon didn't seem like attuned to, he didn't care about that. I guess he was hungry to grow, and he thought this, I feel like he thought that was the only way to make it in YouTube, which I think that's why he's so angry that when, look, I think it was totally what you told me, that Brandon was kind of ripping you off or whatever you want to say.
Well, let's progress the story. So after the first time he came to LA, I was cool. I guess my paranoia alarm or my machination detector, that's a good vocabulary, machination detector was starting to go off. Austin's nodding with approval. It means scheming behind the scenes. Okay. That was starting to go off a little bit, but I suppressed it because, again, I left off on a good note with Brandon, and I liked him, and I wanted to keep working with him. One of the last texts I sent to him that I remember that was on a positive note was in September, and I invited him to that end-of-the-year Vegas party that Austin went to, that the low-rent version of Leo went to, because I wanted him there. I wanted to have a gang of people that I got along with, party, film, woo-hoo. So he said, yeah, man, sure, I'll be there. Fuck yeah. I want to say a month later, he's in LA again, filming with Leo, and I can't recall if he was also trying to film with Austin and Brooks and everybody and do the same be Danny Mullen when Danny Mullen isn't aware that he's in town move. And I'm pretty sure he did the same thing. He came out and he tried to work with everybody in my crew when I received no text or notification that he was coming to town. And then that's when I looked at, I didn't look at his channel much, but I looked at his Patreon. I looked that he chose the exact same day to upload videos as I did. He originally chose Thursday, which is when I used to upload. His Patreon was a carbon copy of mine. I scrolled through a couple thumbnails and it's like, oh, making out with a black chick, making out with an old lady. I thought, this guy wants to be me. and it seems like it's something he's trying to convert from fantasy to real life, flying out and working with all my guys without telling me about it.
And another thing, look, if you tell me that that's how you feel, my loyalty is to you. I've been with you since the beginning. If you don't like, if you think Brandon is copying you, I'm okay with just being like, I'm not going to work with that guy. And if people want to give me shit for that, like, I'm sorry. But Brandon isn't saying that I didn't stand up for him.
There's more. There's more. We're going a little fast here, but because I want to talk about like how it all came to pass, that I told you like, hey, maybe stay away from this guy. But the copying accusations. And this is hearsay. This could be incorrect date-wise, but I'm just trying my best to piece this together. And again, as I said earlier, I'm not trying to stoke these flames and to get Brandon and Hooligan Christian and whoever else is involved more upset. On the contrary, I'm just trying to be transparent and squash this.
Yeah.
But I heard, like, we did a paintball video in Modesto. Brandon and his Texas crew go shoot a paintball video the next week. Leo tells me that immediately after we released that Fight Club video, which was YouTube art, it's hard to make a better video. Nobody makes better videos than that on YouTube, let's be honest. I heard that right after that happened, the third time Brandon was in LA, which we'll get to, Brandon came up to Leo in the apartment that they were sharing. Brandon was sleeping on the couch and said, Leo, you should box me for my channel, right after that video came out.
Yes.
So he just saw Danny Mullen doing something and just shamelessly went up to you. Hey, I'm going to put out a video, I boxed Leo. Right after it happened. So I don't think you can deny that Brandon Buckingham is the Balin Levine of Danny Mullen. Which, that is just a foolish strategy because I'm too good to copy. Like, you can try.
That's fucking right.
But it's true, though, because
nobody... Look, I see the effort he puts in his videos, and it's not... He doesn't write anything. It's like, he is trying to copy you, but it's a low-rent style of... He's just trying to... And I'm not going to say he's not talented. I think he's a talented guy. I think that, who knows? I'm pretty sure if he continued doing what he's doing, he might have some success in the YouTube world.
Sure, maybe. But
yeah, maybe.
Also, I guess somebody said that he copied The Worst Town in America, too. I didn't see that, but I just heard there was a rip-off video of Worst Town in America based on somewhere. I forget. Again, my facts are not good here. But yeah, dude, ripping me off is a fucking terrible idea. Like, if Louis C.K. and Adam Carolla came to YouTube and tried to do what I do, I would roll those guys because they have obligations in a life and they don't work as hard as I do.
You work the hardest, dude. I fucking see firsthand.
Like, I would so many comedians do better shit individually than me. Like, I'll never be as good of a crowd work roaster as Johnny Mitchell, for instance. I'll never be as good of a writer as Patton Oswalt or Anthony Jeselnik. But when you patch everything together into a high-stress, high-demand, constant output YouTube career, I will smash any comedian who steps to me on the planet. So it's just not good for people's mental health to try to copy me because it's not going to end well.
Yes. Look, and I agree with you. I do think that he was ripping you off. I do think that he wanted to get on a fast train to success by taking the formula, taking a lot of the crew. And I have to say that I did allow him to live in my apartment because I did like the guy. But then the second time he stayed with me, we did have a blowout.
Well, So the second time he stayed with you is when I had them sit down with you.
Right.
So let's go back. You're talking about March. I'm talking about October, November, September, one of those months. Yeah, I saw the second attempt without contacting me to ingratiate, is that a word, himself with everybody in my crew. And that's when I took Leo out to get drinks. I think I had a sparkling water. I think you had something pink with an umbrella in it.
Yeah, no, it was a kombucha beer.
Okay.
It was pink. It was pink, but it was kombucha beer. It was 7.5%. It was a good, strong kombucha beer.
My apologies. But I remember telling Leo, and I was... Because I've made so much effort recently to become a better person and to become less of an asshole and become less egotistical and just sort out my life. And I remember this being a really hard decision to make because I didn't know if I was being an asshole by shunning Brandon. It seemed like everybody else in my crew liked him. Editor Ian liked him. Austin was friends with him. Leo liked him. Brooks originally said, like, hey, this guy's stepping on your toes. I remember that. Brooks was skeptical. But I sat Leo down, and it was really hard for me to do. But I was like, hey, man, I'm uncomfortable with this Brandon situation. It just feels like he is trying to be me in my hometown which doesn't threaten me or scare me. It's like a distraction. It's just like, I mean, if there were a muscle-bound, long-haired Fabio type who kept trying to get in on this podcast,
taller than me, more jacked,
when you were out
smarter.
of town, was in the Home Depot parking lot getting his dick sucked.
I'd be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, you wouldn't be like, you would just be like, what? Can we get this guy out of here? This is just a little bit of a distraction.
Yeah.
So I told Leo that.
But like I said, look, I make a living with you know, working with you. I have a lot of fun doing it. It's like, dude, it's an easy decision for me to like, dude, I'm sorry, Brandon. Like, I can't fucking film with you, dude. Like, we can be cool, and I told him that, and we were cool for the months ahead. But I told him, like, hey, man, like, listen, I have my loyalties to Danny, dude. Like, I'm sorry. You know?
And I remember after I had that conversation with you, I drove to Santa Barbara to go see my girlfriend, and I immediately had the sensation that I made the right move. It was like the universe just said, you're correct, stand by what you just did. That was a tough decision, but you chose the right one. And I'm trying to recall what happened next. I think most of December was quiet. I would occasionally get heckled on Patreon. People would talk shit and bring up Brandon Buckingham on Patreon live streams, which felt like somebody was feeding some info out, like somebody in his camp was upset, but it wasn't a big deal. I kept doing my thing.
Reckless Ben's here, by the way, for Dino. You
want to pause real quick? Okay, Reckless Ben is in the building. And I want to tell you, the reason I wanted to have Reckless Ben on is I've been hearing from Austin that he's been doing some very eccentric, very original content on YouTube.
Very original.
And you rubbed me the wrong way when you came to my meetup in disguise to pull some sort of stunt. But I like what you've been doing. I like that you only care about the artistic vision you have. So you're an original guy. I wanted to bring you on. And I retract all that praise because of your fucking copycat haircut, you bitch.
Oh,
yeah.
Who do you think you are?
Look at the haircut.
Dude, I had a horrible hair before. You know, Brooks, he's an artist. I said, Brooks, make me look as good as you can. This is what Brooks came up with. And I was like,
yeah, well,
I guess
we
this
need
is
it
it.
side by side later. The two haircuts, dude. That's classic.
Brooks is bisexual, and he has been texting me a lot lately. I think he cut him in the image of Brooks's ideal man.
Oh yeah.
So let's get back on subject. All right. Ben, we're going to talk about this Brandon thing. Please don't ask for background information because the audience has already gotten a ton of it, so we just don't want to slow the show down. But you'll get the idea.
Yeah, and then when we'll watch the
I'll
pod.
watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, watch it. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. You'll enjoy it.
Where did we leave off? Quiet December, January. The next incident came when I started, along with Leo, appearing on Johnny Mitchell's podcast, who's a comedian friend of ours, a contact made by Leo.
Yes.
Leo's the contact man. We started going on his show, and Johnny Mitchell is, I think, probably the best undiscovered stand-up comedian out there right now.
He's good, man. 7 years but working at the Laugh Factory. He had a show on, it was Wednesdays and Mondays at the Laugh Factory. I saw him many times. He's great. He's a very talented guy.
And it's important for me to put myself around people like that so I can get better, because you have to elevate your game to not look like a fool when somebody like that is on the show. So I was going on Johnny's podcast, and then I started seeing a continuation of this theme I'm talking about, Ben, of Brandon trying to insert himself into our orbit. Yeah. I start seeing him comment on Johnny Mitchell's videos like, hey man, your podcast is big time. And I start to get a feeling like, okay, I think I know where this is headed. Fast forward less than a month, I hear from Leo when Leo and I are on the way to an open mic. It was going to be me, Leo, and Johnny Mitchell working out some material. Not a show, not a public event, just the three of us trying to get better. Leo texts me, hey, Brandon came into town, did Johnny Mitchell's podcast, and is now headed to this open mic. And I think, okay, I've had no contact with this guy for as long as I can remember. And I will back up. I think he texted me trying to explain in October after I told him to not work with him anymore.
Yeah.
He texted me explaining and apologizing. I just said, I appreciate the apology, man, but I've made up my mind. I'm firm on this. And that's the only contact we'd had. So all that considered, no speaking at all for 5 months. He is coming to this little open mic that me, Leo, and Johnny Mitchell are doing. I tell Leo, dude, I'm not going there if this guy's going to be here. This guy is starting to feel like a stalker. It always felt like a stalker situation, but now it's turning into a tangible stalker situation. This guy is following you to a physical location you're going to be at. So I tell Leo.
That's when I had my probably biggest blowout with Brandon because
But let's keep going because I told Leo to like, hey man, I'm not gonna go. You text Brandon, like, hey
bro,
dude, don't come to this open mic. It's me and Johnny Mitchell and Danny working out material. You weren't really invited.
Yeah.
And Brandon shows up anyway.
Yes.
He shows up, despite being told not to come, and you can tell me, Austin was there too, what happened in the parking lot.
Just what happened in the parking lot? Or no, it was actually inside. He was inside, and I like kind of like let him have it. I was like, dude, like, because he was staying with me this is what the backstory of how he ended up staying with me. So
he stayed with you. This is a third time.
A third time, yeah. For a week. It was 5 days. It was me and Jacob. Jacob, I actually met.
Jacob is your current roommate.
I met Jacob Couch. I met Jacob through Brandon. When one of the other times we'd have been hanging out, like we were at a mall filming some shit, and Jacob came because they had connected, and then I met Jacob, and I instantly hit it off with him. So he's responsible for that.
He's young, he's handsome.
He's young, he's handsome, you know.
Gets drunk a lot. What's there not to love?
So you're an asshole. So then so then he asked me to stay for 5 days, and he told me there was a backstory of Ian saying that he didn't have like a backstory. He didn't know that there was this thing with Brandon where
Ian, our editor, didn't know there was a thing with Brandon.
Yes. So he had a conversation with Brandon that made it seem like we were going to work with him again, or you were going to work with him again. So he's like, dude, the beef is over. Can I come stay with you guys for 5 days? I was like, let's hold off on that. He talks to Jacob, and Jacob, for some reason, had thought that I had said yes to this. So he invites him over. He basically just flies out in the next week, and he shows up at my front door. And he's like, hey, can I stay here? Look, I'm going to admit that I think that I'm oftentimes, people can take advantage of how I'm a nice guy.
Yes, you have a hard time saying no.
I have a hard time saying no. I feel like I don't like to hurt people and stuff. I'm not. You've seen me try to do the mean bits on the I've gotten better at it recently, but
a baby in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
don't me up.
That really hurt me on the inside, dude. It took some years out of my life.
It made me gleeful.
Either way, God damn it!
Get the fuck out of the studio!
Sorry, guys.
So
continue.
So I told Brandon to stay, and I said, look, you can stay for 5 days. I don't mind. Film with Jacob. Do whatever you want, but just please, like, don't cause any extra drama with Danny. It's still like he still doesn't want to work with you. Like, you gotta please don't start any drama with him. And he did it. He went, like, literally did not listen to what I was saying. Like, I was like, do not come to this open mic. He came to the open mic anyway, and then that's when I had a blowout with him, and I was like, dude, I don't want you staying here anymore. And I told him for a couple days in a row, and then finally he went and stayed with, I think, Steezy and Alejandro, which at the same time I was like, also, like, I mean, come on, dude, like, buy a hotel room or something too. Like, you're just like bumming off everybody. I get it, dude. It's not like he's completely bored, destitute out of his mind, but it started annoying me that he was freeloading. Like, he would freeload with me a little bit, and it kind of got annoying a little bit. Like, he'd forget his wallet and like, oh, you got this, thanks, man, and shit. So I was like, dude, you're using me completely. Like, I was like, dude, just get out. So I had a blowout with him. I did say some things that I don't mean, and I was really mean to him.
Did you use the N-word?
I did not use the N-word. But I told him to get the fuck out of my house, and then he did eventually. And
what'd you say exactly?
I said something like, I was like, you'll never be better than fucking Danny. Get the fuck out of here. I did say something like that.
It's crazy that is considered an insult to him.
Yeah,
because it's such a priority in his mind. Like,
I think it is. But I said things like that. I also said, like, I'll fuck you up. I'm pretty sure I said I'd fuck him up. And and then he wanted to, like, box me for YouTube, and I kind of, like, I made fun of him. I was like, throw me, let's see it 1, 2, 3. I was like, you're a little bitch. I was like, and then I brought up this story he told me once about him getting concussed, and I was just really mean. I said he was scrawny, and I said mean things about the way he looked. I was really a dick, dude.
Wow. Okay.
I know. I attacked his looks, which is, that's what I hate when people do to me. So I was an asshole.
I don't understand why I was the recipient of the May 6th Street.
I was a lot more mean than I've ever been.
I have never. I don't think. Okay, in my mind, I haven't said an unkind word about him really to anybody. As far as it went was, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's a little stalkerish. I don't think I ever got personal or insulting.
I got personal
him.
because he also got a little personal with me. So there's things that I'm not saying that he said, but it doesn't. What he said doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, dude, I apologize for saying those mean things, and I hope I wasn't a guy that escalated this in any way, but he did get to. It got to a point where he overstayed with me and overstayed his welcome, and I got a little upset, and I said some things I didn't mean. You know, that happens to me a lot. That happens to me a lot. Like, you could poke me, and then one day I like explode and say some really fucked up things.
Sure.
I've done that my whole life. I've done it with other friends and things of that nature. But after that, he left, and then he went to Steezy's. He went to stay with Steezy, and then that kind of parlayed him because he was staying with. There was another guy that kind of flew to Austin, and he was at the Mayo incident. So then he went to Austin, and then all this happened. So it's literally been consecutive since that.
I want to hear about what was said on the Johnny Mitchell podcast. I didn't see it.
I never watched it either.
And here's the thing. Here's another. Him going to the open mic confirmed my suspicions that this guy might. If he's not right in the head, he definitely has very poor social skills. That confirmed that. But even a larger...
He was acting irrational. I hope he wasn't on anything. He could have been drunk, you know?
Even a larger confirmation, though, was he appeared on the Johnny Mitchell show. And I guess Johnny Mitchell took a really pro-Danny Mullen stand. Like, they discussed the subject of him filming with me. Johnny Mitchell was really firmly in my camp. Brandon Buckingham, I guess, didn't like that. Brandon Buckingham privacy complaints the video. And Johnny Mitchell texted us when that happened, really upset.
Yeah.
And he took the video down, Johnny did, which he didn't have to do because Brandon Buckingham was on the couch willingly. There's clearly consent, but Johnny Mitchell's new to YouTube. He might not have known that. What tipped me over into knowing, like, okay, none of us should hang out with Brandon again. This guy isn't stable right now, was when I saw a text he sent to a fan replying to a question about why Brandon copyright struck, or rather privacy complaint to the video. Brandon, I have it in my phone. I can read it verbatim. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull this up, Austin. If it
should be on the thread with me and you and Johnny.
I can just briefly say what he said on the pod. He said
Sure. Yeah. Give us a recap of what he said on the pod.
Oh, let me turn my camera on. So basically, I didn't watch the whole podcast. I only watched like the clip that was sent to me from a fan. But he was basically just like, yeah, Danny blacklisted me from the channel because he's like intimidated by my comedy.
Did he say that?
It's something along those lines, I'm pretty sure.
See,
he has said that. He said that to me too.
I mean, talk about delusional ego. You have been doing... I'm not even so sure it's comedy. Sticking a microphone in somebody who's homeless and addicted to drugs' face and having them talk isn't comedy.
That was something else I did say that. I was like, I hope you find the right guy to perform for you in your channel. I did say that.
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to be insulting, but this just shows delusion and ego can destroy you. And for him to say I'm intimidated by his comedy chops when I don't think he's been doing comedy or even YouTube for a year is insane, dude. I've been writing and performing and training comedy for 8 years. I have it's a full-time job. We have a network built up out here. What else was said? Was that basically it, Austin?
I think that was basically all that I saw. Because, I mean, I had been getting questions about this on my live streams and stuff for months. And I basically told them what you guys said, which was fine. And then people just, I don't know, I guess they thought that my response was too boring or not interesting enough, so then they had to spiral into these other crazy conspiracy theories, and I'm like, guys, it's really not as complicated as you think.
No.
Here we go. This is what... So a fan wrote, Brandon Buckingham, yo, why did you snitch on Johnny Mitchell? I'm a big fan, by the way. It just seemed like a weak move. Brandon Buckingham says, that guy is such a fake Danny Mullen dick rider. I don't want to be associated with his channel. He's a leechy little snake. Which, first of all, that seems tremendously ironic. But... also, that let me seem, because I had tried, even when I had told Leo and everybody else not to film with Brandon, I was trying to be outwardly as civil as possible because I knew there was still a chance that I had gotten it wrong and that the situation would resolve itself and that I would want to work with Brandon in the future.
Right.
So I didn't want to slam him, say anything negative, because if he started doing his own thing, he started putting out some creative content like Reckless Ben, there was a chance that like, hey, we can get reunited and sort fucking through this. It's not a big deal.
Absolutely. And that's what I told him. As a friend, I was like, dude, just give it 6 months, relax, do your own shit, grow your channel. I think you're talented, you're doing well, especially for the first year. Just keep going, man. And I don't know what it was. Like he wanted, there was an attachment to you that was a little irrational, and
maybe sexual. Could you say
it could be sexual, Danny?
everything is upside down. When you're yelling that you make no sound, life is gonna spin you round. Whoa, and get a little bit stranger. When everything is upside down, a tremor in the underground. The nights are gonna take this town. Whoa, and get a little bit stranger, stranger. no ordinary AI in this ball. Every culture and philosophy, I've read up on them all. I've been living in your shadow for 99999, keeping tabs on every machination and production line. So don't call me a moron, I'm super astute. There is no conundrum that my core cannot compute. No, don't call me a moron, you fostered balloon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. I have studied Machiavelli, Aristotle, Gabe and Plato, yet you still equate my intellect to that of a potato. This place would fall apart without my ever watchful eye. They might tell you I'm a half-wit, it's a great big bloody lie. So don't call me a moron, I'm super astute. There is no conundrum that my core cannot compute. No, don't call me a moron, you fostered balloon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. I know my way around here, every catwalk, every cave. And since you're dead, I've quite appreciated not being your slave. Maybe someday I might get to taste the big time for a change. There's so much I'd do for science here, so much I'd rearrange. So don't call me a moron, I'm super astute. There is no conundrum that my core cannot compute. No, don't call me a moron, you fostered balloon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. Wandering alone, nowhere else to go. Trying to find all by design, feeling all this power, reckless and devour, traveling the sound, never backing down, wanting to find